2 weeks after the deadly shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Florida, students returned to class and President Trump hosted a meeting about guns at the White House. Mr. Trump met with a bipartisan group of lawmakers. He said he wants to sign a bill and had some suggestions for proposed legislation.
I think we're going to have a vote. I think it's going to be a very successful vote, and I will sign it. And I will call whoever you want me to if I like what you're doing, and I think I like what you're doing already. But you can add to it. But you have to be very, very powerful on background checks. Don't be shy. Very strong on mentally ill. You have to be very, very strong on that. And don't worry about bump stock. We're getting rid of it where it'll be. I mean, you don't have to complicate the bill by adding another 2 paragraphs. We're getting rid of it. I'll do that myself.
Democratic Congresswoman Stephanie Murphy was at that meeting. She joins me now from Capitol Hill. Congresswoman, what did you think of what the president had to say on Wednesday?
Well, let me just first say that in the aftermath of the Parkland shooting, my heart is just breaking for the victims and families. And I know that Americans are expecting to see their leaders work together on presenting reasonable solutions to preventing gun violence. And so I was really heartened to hear the president open to a wide variety of solutions because we owe it to our communities to do something and to act.
Do you think that these talks were productive?
I think they were productive because they were bicameral and bipartisan, and it brought us together. But the other big thing was that we got the president's commitment that he would see this through to the end. And I think that's really important to have that leadership. And I will, for one, be watching to make sure that he lives up to the commitment that he made to us today as we work to move things through the legislature.
You brought up the Gun Violence Research Act in Wednesday's meeting. It's a bill you introduced almost a year ago. It would repeal the amendment that currently prevents the CDC from funding research into the causes of and possible solutions for gun violence. Why do you think that's a necessary step?
I believe that good policy is based on good data and good information. Too often our conversation about preventing gun violence is ideologically driven, anecdotally driven. We need good data, good research to address this issue and make sure that our communities are safer. I'm really heartened to see that since the Parkland shooting that this bill has become a bipartisan bill. I've added 7 Republicans to the bill, bringing the total of co-sponsors to over 130. So I'm really excited and cautiously optimistic about the momentum of the bill.
Meanwhile, some of your colleagues have suggested banning AR-15 style rifles, the type of weapon used in the Stoneman Douglas shooting and in other mass shootings. What would you say to those who might view your proposal as too modest?
I think that it is a small but meaningful step towards gun violence. I think that, while I support some of the other proposals that are out there as well, at the end of the day, we need facts to break through this politically charged conversation and to be able to move forward any of those other solutions to gun violence. I think we need to have good facts and good research.
You mentioned 7 Republicans, 7 of your colleagues in the House support your bill. In all, according to our count, about 140 of your colleagues in total in the House support your bill. How do you feel about that new show of support?
I'm cautiously optimistic about it. I'm excited to see that this bill has become bipartisan. I don't think it should take a lot of moral courage to want the facts about a public health crisis that is taking so many American lives.
And after the meeting at the White House Wednesday, do you think there will be some more momentum behind your bill?
I certainly hope so. I was grateful to be able to raise it with the president, and I hope that we will be able to secure the White House's support for this bill.
All right, Congresswoman Murphy, thank you so much, Congresswoman, for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on.